What's in a name? For a team of gods, monsters, and super soldiers, a name is everything. It's a mission statement. But what if the person who came up with that legendary name was also the one who, time and again, would step up to define what it truly meant? Today, we're talking about the unsung architect of the Earth's mightiest heroes, the vibrant, unstoppable, and absolutely essential Janet Van Dyne, the Wasp. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Echoes Resonance. I'm your host, Will, and in our last episode we talked about the brilliant and tragic journey of Hank Pym. But while Hank's story is often one of internal conflict, the story of his partner, Janet Van Dyne, is one of incredible growth, resilience, and leadership. And honestly, you can't understand the Avengers without understanding her. Like Hank, Janet's story begins in the pages of Tales to Astonish way back in 1963. But she wasn't a scientist, no. She was a bright, wealthy socialite whose world was turned upside down when her scientist father was murdered by an alien entity. Filled with grief, but also the fiery desire for justice, she sought out her father's colleague, Hank Pym. He revealed his secret as Ant-Man, and Janet, without a moment's hesitation, volunteered to undergo a procedure to gain powers of her own. She got the ability to shrink just like Hank, but also grow wings and fire bioelectric stings. She became the Wasp. Her motivation from day one was pure and powerful, to avenge a loved one. She and Hank became a formidable duo, but her most significant contribution came almost immediately. When she, Hank, Iron Man, Thor, and the Hawk first teamed up to fight Loki, which we'll talk about in a future episode. In the Avengers #1, Janet is the one who said, "We need to be named something colorful, dramatic, like the Avengers." And that was that. That was the spark, the name that would become a legend, spoken by a woman who would soon embody it. Now, in those early Silver Age stories, Janet often portrayed in a way that, well, feels a little dated now. She was a fashionista, sometimes portrayed as flighty, and often defined by her complex, ongoing, on-again, off-again romance with Hank. But what set her apart, even then, was her humanity and her unique perspective. She was a successful fashion designer, a career that just wasn't a hobby. It was part of her identity. She famously designed and changed her costume constantly, which is unheard of at the time. It showed a level of personality and self-expression that other heroes, stuck in their iconic spandex, well, they just didn't have. This creativity was a sign of the brilliant mind working beneath the surface. Underneath the witty banter and the stylish exteriors, the writers were planting the seeds of the leader that she would eventually become. She had a keen eye for people, an emotional intelligence that often brooding men of the team lacked, and she had a courage that had nothing to do with brute strength. She was the team's heart long before she ever became its head, the one who could smooth over the egos of the gods and the geniuses to keep the fragile alliance from shattering. As years went on, the Marvel Universe of course grew, and so did Janet. And here's where her story really takes a fascinating turn, especially in contrast to Hank's. While Hank was struggling with his identity, cycling through names like Giant Man and Yellow Jacket, Janet was busy forging one of the strongest identities in the Marvel Universe. Her evolution culminated in one of the most celebrated eras in the Avengers history, when she was elected as chairwoman. Her crowning moment came during the Under Siege storyline, where she brilliantly led a battered team against Baron Zemo's Masters of Evil. It was a masterclass in leadership that proved once and for all that the Wasp was not a sidekick. She was the core of the Avengers. Now that strength defined her for decades and led her to her most iconic moment during Secret Invasion. When she discovered the Skrulls had turned her into a living bioweapon set to detonate and kill everyone around her, she didn't hesitate. She flew high into the atmosphere, sacrificing herself to save the world. It was a devastating moment, but also a perfect, heroic echo of her entire journey, from a girl seeking justice for one man to a woman sacrificing herself for everyone. And of course, for a long time, the world believed that she was dead. But this is comics, as we've said time and time again, and Janet's story was far from over. It was revealed she hadn't died, but was instead shunted into the microverse, the same strange dimension that Hank Pym first discovered. She survived here, becoming a hardened freedom fighter, until she was finally rescued and brought back to the world that previously had mourned her. But the world she returned to was a fractured one. In the aftermath and devastating war between the Avengers and the X-Men, Captain America knew he needed a team that could bridge the gap between humans and mutants. He needed a public face for this new Unity Squad, someone respected, charismatic, and undeniably heroic. He needed Janet. In the pages of Uncanny Avengers, Janet not only joined the team, but became its primary financial backer. She used her fortune to give the team a headquarters and resources they needed. It was a brilliant evolution. The woman who gave the Avengers their name was now giving them a home. She was the public relations expert, their moral compass, and a veteran field commander all in one. But her most significant modern development came from a place she never expected, Hank Pym's past. She discovered that Hank had a secret daughter, Nadia, who had been raised in the Red Room, the same program that created the Black Widow. Nadia escaped, found her way to America, and using her father's technology became the new unstoppable Wasp. This could have been a moment of conflict, but instead, it became one of Janet's most beautiful chapters. She didn't see Nadia as a replacement, but as a legacy. She immediately took Nadia under her wing, becoming her surrogate mother, a mentor, and her biggest supporter. She helped Nadia get her citizenship, start her own lab, and navigate the wild world of superheroes. And that is the perfect snapshot of where Janet Van Dyne is today. She is a respected, celebrated elder stateswoman of the Marvel Universe. She is the matriarch of the Wasp identity, proudly guiding her successor. She is the founder, a leader, a survivor, and a mentor. She's proven that her greatest strength was never shrinking, but her incredible capacity to grow. Janet Van Dyne's journey is one of the most complete and satisfying in all of comics. She started as a character of her time and grew into a timeless symbol of leadership and heart. She's the soul of the Avengers. So I'll leave you with this question. What do you think is Janet's most important legacy? The initial brilliant spark of giving the Avengers their name? Or the decade she spent as the leader defining what that name truly meant? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thanks for listening to this episode of Marvel Echoes. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe or follow so you don't miss any future episodes. Leaving a like and a review really help the podcast grow. For more content, including infographics and new reader guides, make sure you visit our website in the links below. Till next time, true believers, make mine Marvel.